Hello, hello, hello. How are you? I'm fine. Thank you for asking. Today we're going to talk about the pursuit of 2022. Okay? First up on the docket, we want to focus on knowledge. Okay? That includes reading one book or two in its entirety. Now, I've got a few books here just for reference purposes. Say, for instance, this is called Rich Woman. This is by Kim Kiyosaki. She is actually the wife of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I don't want to guess here, so I will. That's by Robert. I wanted to make sure I had his name correct. That's actually a really good book. It was an easy to read book. She made it very easy to read, almost like it was a novel. But I really appreciated this book. She gave some really great tips, just in regards to how being a rich woman is obtainable. Moving right along, we have the Gucci Mane Guide to Greatness. I actually have not finished this book in its entirety because I gave it as an assignment for my son to complete when I had first got the book. So I haven't finished it in its entirety, but I did, of course, complete the autobiography of Gucci Mane. But he gave some really great principles. I love this book, for one, because he has like great pictures along the way, but even for, the sections, there really aren't chapters, they're just sections. And then, hold on, sorry, because it's heavy. It's just a 2-3 page section. And that was just, the intro. That's part one. But he gives some really great advice. I appreciate Gucci Mane and how far he's come, especially when it comes to giving us literature, because the autobiography of Gucci Mane was a really great book. I don't have it on this stack, but this is Valerie Burton. This is Get Unstuck, Be Unstoppable. She has opportunities in here in each section. They're not really chapters, but they're sections. And I'll just skim through so you can kind of see that she has places for you to write, to kind of give some feedback. And it makes it very engaging. And I appreciate that about this book, because you always pick this book up when you find yourself just stuck. Like, oh my goodness, kind of feeling a little stagnant, and I'm trying to figure out what's next, what to do. So that's a great book. I had it for a while. I actually ended up getting it as a gift for someone, but it's really good. I haven't finished. I believe I read this book a few times now that I think about it, because I see the bookmark, and I have on the bookmark like vocabulary words on the back. So I did finish this one. This one is called Play Like a Man, Win Like a Woman. And I read this book because I was reading another book called Break Your Own Rules, and they referenced this book. And coincidentally, when I was at the library, they had it. That's the blue dot. They had it on sale. And so I got that one. That was a really good book. It just kind of teaches you as a woman how to not think of everything so feminine, basically. Especially when you're trying to achieve goals and obtain some form of success in your life. It's a dog-eat-dog world. Next on the docket, this is Life is a Bitch. Life's a bitch. Not life is, but life's a bitch. What men really think. And this is just by a man. He doesn't have his real name. It's very, very funny, and it's so amazing how relevant it is. I think that a lot of women would be very offended by some of the things that he releases in that book. That's a really great book for women. I will say it's hard to read because, you know, as a woman, you have to get over that mental hurdle and just read the information that he's putting into the book and letting us know, like, what men really think. Not all men, but some majority. Next on the list, this is Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Think Rich to Get Rich. And this is by T. Harv Eker. I just thank God for this for this book. Mastering the Inner Game of Wealth. Easy to read book. Basic, super easy to follow, easy to understand principles to understanding money management. Just keep it at that. Next on the list, we have Solitary by Albert Woodfox. This is a really thick book. It didn't take me that long to read it. It didn't take me that long because I actually ended up reading the preview on Google, and I got so enthralled into it that I just immediately ordered it. I found it. I don't know if it was on Bigger Books or it was on one of those websites, secondhand books or something like that, something like that. I don't know, but someone was talking about Albert and his story. It must have been like a podcast or something, and I was like, wait, 40 years. And so I go and I read the preview, and I'm just, you know, you only get maybe like 20 maybe pages of the preview, and I'm all in it. I'm reading it, and I got it, and I just couldn't put it down because, you know, for someone to spend that long in prison, you read it and you're right there. He's so vivid and so descriptive with everything that he had to endure being in prison, that you're literally in prison with him. Great book. I really appreciate that because we needed that. I needed that to not take my freedom for granted, because there are certain situations where there are people who are, you know. Next on the list, we have Crisis on the Border. I bought this book from Walmart a few years ago. I bought it with another book. I don't have it with me, but it's in the bag. I forgot the couple. I can't even think of it right now. But I ended up reading it, and it was so moving to have someone working on the border and come back and relate, you know, just the accounts of what they have experienced. It's great. It was great. It was very touching and moving. It leaves you somewhat emotional, and you're kind of torn between all of these emotions that you're feeling at one time, because you're like, wait, what? Wait a minute. And that was just 2020 when I got this book. So just imagine if we had a more Crisis on the Border Part 2. Whew. This is You Are the Placebo, Making Your Mind Matter. I haven't read it. Papa Duck gave a recommendation for this book. I believe this actually is a receipt. Papa Duck gave a recommendation for this book, along with Uncle Tom's Cabin, which I ordered. I think I ordered both of these at the same time. I ordered this May 2nd, 2021, and it shipped May 3rd. And I still haven't read it because I've been swamped and overwhelmed with everything else in life, but I will get to it. That's by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And the next two I have here is Millionaire Woman Next Door. I don't know what that is on here. I have some water. I was gonna just wipe it off. It looked like a little stain on the book. I don't know what it is, but it just came right off. This is Millionaire Women Next Door. This is by Thomas J. Stanley, and then of course he also has The Millionaire Mind as well. And so that's what we're focusing on, but we'll talk about those particular items when we get to the financial literacy department. But we want to focus on education first and foremost. We want to be able to really get a clear understanding as far as where we want to go in regards to our future. But we also want to improve ourselves mentally, educationally, with literature, learn something, you know, and then of course be able to get into the habit of writing as well, because we want to work on a book also. So that's the main point. So we not only want to gain education, knowledge, but we also want to understand how to write in regards to working on our next novel. So that's first on the docket as far as the Pursuit of 21. Read a book or two in its entirety.